Stephen, how is everyone after the international break?
Yeah, really good. No one's come back with any problems or issues, so we're nearly at full strength. There's only really Ryan Kent, and this game's come a bit too soon for him, but he's not too far away. And Borna won't be in the squad, but he'll be in full training in the next day or so.
What was it like having the break, given the momentum you had built up, especially with that game against Motherwell? Is it, with the volume of games, is it something you needed, or with the momentum would you rather keep going?
I think in terms of just bodies available, it came at a good time. In terms of performance and the feel-good factor, obviously it came at a bad time, but it is what it is. You know, it's in the schedule from the beginning. We know when they come. Sometimes it suits you, sometimes it don't. But what I will say is the players have been incredible this week in terms of level of performance in training. And, you know, as the manager, I just hope they take that into the weekend's game.
What sort of game do you expect against Livingston?
A completely different one from the first one. Quite similar to how a lot of teams come to Ibrox. You're hard to play against, compact, that low block, quite direct, quite physical. We know they're missing the main striker who scored against us last time, so we're not sure, you know, what Gary's plan will be. So we'll wait and see, but we believe the game is about us and what we do and how we approach it, and we're going in confident mood, and we can't wait for the game.
Is it a case of a point to prove after the last result, or is that the wrong way of phrasing it?
I think as a footballer individually, and also a team like Rangers, you've always got a point to prove. You know, it'll be a full house again. We've performed really well at home. We've made a bit of a fortress up to now, and we want to continue to do that. So we're going to play on the front foot and be aggressive like we have done from day one. You know, Livingston beat us fair and square in the first game. They celebrated after the game, and rightly so. You know, it'll be their biggest victory of the season, so we understand that. But from our point of view, that frustration and that hate should still be there. Have you got anything about you?
When you look at this period now, it's been busy for you anyway because of Europe, but domestically now the games come thick and fast. How key do you feel this period of the season is?
Yeah, it could be key, but there's still going to be a lot of football to be played after the break as well. But yeah, we have spoke about it. You know, it is a busy period domestically, some big games in there. But for us, we take it one by one. You know, it's important that we try and deal with Livingston first, 3 important points, and then we go switch back to the Europa League. That's what we do. We just take each game as it comes. But in terms of the next 4 weeks or 4.5 weeks up until the Celtic game, it's a busy schedule for us. Some really big games in there, and we're well aware of it.
Will there have to be a bit of squad management in that time?
Yes, I don't think it's fair to, you know, you look at the next 11 days, we've got four very important games. When we go past Livingston, we've got 3 games in 6 days. So it's difficult to ask players to keep going and giving the maximum every 3-4 days over a period of 4.5 weeks. It's not fair. So yeah, in terms of myself and my staff, we'll have to try and manage. But what we will do is we'll try and put teams out there that are capable of winning that game that's in front of us.
Got your first AGM next week. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm not sure whether I'm dreading it or looking forward to it, because I've never done one. So I go in, you know, really looking forward to the experience and seeing what it's about. We're in a good place, and you know, I'm an open book, I'm very honest, and I'm looking forward to the questions that come my way.
Will it be a chance to sit with the chairman and nail down plans for January? What's going forward?
I will be sitting down with the chairman, but I sit down with the chairman every time he's over. We always go for dinner together, and we catch up, and we reflect on where we are and what we think the future looks like. And yeah, we've got a good relationship, and I will be sitting down with him over the next few days, and I'm really looking forward to being next to him at the AGM.
I know you've spoken a bit before about recruitment in January. How much work do you think needs to be done to the squad to keep this challenge up?
We won't be doing anything major in January, but if we identify a player that we feel like that can strengthen us and help us for the final 6 months of the season, we will go and try and make that happen. But it might be a case where we don't sign anyone, but there won't be a lot of activity in terms of volume. We've done a lot in the summer. We're really happy with the squad at the moment. But the recruitment process here is we're always looking to grow and improve and strengthen. That'll always be the case.
Gareth McCauley got 90 minutes for Northern Ireland at the weekend. Was that promising for you? Do you feel like he could almost prove to be a new signing almost at this stage?
Yes, we knew Gareth was out of condition when he first come because he'd had such a long summer and he hadn't played much football last year. He's a pleasure to work with in terms of his professionalism and how he looks after himself. It was just a case of getting a lot of training in his body and some game minutes. He'd done that in reserves. He'd done that in a couple of behind closed doors fixtures, and I think Northern Ireland have managed him very well over the last 10 days. And he was ready against Motherwell to go in from the beginning, but he came on and put in a really good performance, full of experience and know-how, and he'll certainly be needed in the next 4.5 weeks and for the remainder of the season.
Is it good having that competition of places at centre back when you've only had the 3 in there to have the extra man?
Yeah, the idea is always to have 2 good players in each position fighting for the spot. And if everyone's fit and available, we're in good shape and everyone pushes each other to play. But the players all understand, they're educated, they know that we need to change and offload people at certain times because it's looking like we're going to play a big volume of games from now till the end of the season, and it's not fair to ask a player to play every single game.
Stephen, there was a line that came out of Celtic's AGM where they said that there's a chance they may not take up their ticket allocation for the Old Firm game at Ibrox. How do you feel that would affect the fixture if that were to happen?
I don't think it'll affect the fixture because there'll still be an incredible atmosphere at Ibrox. That's Celtic's decision if they decide to do that. I hope they don't, because I think big football matches and Old Firms are about both sets of fans and the banter and all that type of stuff. But if they decide not to, that's their decision.
When you take part in Merseyside derbies, did you feel it was good having both sets of fans in the crowd?
Fantastic, yeah.
Steve, just come back to the game, you mentioned Livingston celebrating after the win over there for them. Is that the memory of how they celebrated? Is that something you use in the build up to this game just to make sure that I'm not doing that again?
Not for me. I worry about Livingston, what they're going to do to us, how they're going to set up tactically, their strengths and weaknesses, how I feel like they're going to cause us problems, what have they got to offer on set pieces for and against. That's my job. But if I was a Rangers player, I'd certainly remember celebrations at the end of the game.
Stephen, last week it came out in the SFA's when they published the reasons for the booking with Candeas. It was basically because he was blowing kisses. Does that add to the frustration when you see it in black and white?
Yes, slightly, because I don't think you deserve to get a yellow card in football if you blow a kiss. But we accept it, we move on, no hard feelings, and we move forward.
Just on England, Stephen, positive they won the group and they're into the semi-finals of the Nations League. Do you feel now playing in semi-finals, they've got to the World Cup semi-final now, the mentality now, it will help getting to the final stages and dealing with tournament pressure?
They'll certainly have more confidence and more belief. I think Gerrard's doing an outstanding job. I watch England now and I'm really excited. I think they're very mobile, very strong and dynamic. I think they've got excellent footballers, and I think Gareth has sort of took away that fear from the players that gripped myself and a lot of us over the past maybe 10-15 years. And now I watch England and I really fancy them against whoever they put up against. I think they're in a really healthy and strong position, and Gareth deserves all the credit for that because he's the one who's broke it all down and built it back up. So yeah, I'm really excited as an England fan now.
So how do you feel things are going for you at the moment?
No, personally very well. I'm obviously grateful for the opportunities to start those games, and yeah, just hopefully I can keep that form going.
Would you mind sitting a wee bit forward? Sorry, just for the microphone, that'd be great. And how would you sum up how things have gone so far for you this season?
So far, personally, well, I've enjoyed every moment, but at the same time, you're here to win games for the team, and I think that's the bigger picture.
Were you disappointed with the break coming when it did?
Yeah, a bit, because also I wanted just to keep my form going and keep hopefully playing games, but that's a challenge. I need to, when I next get the opportunity, carry that form on.
What does it mean to you when you get the goals as well? Does it feel extra special? I mean, it almost justifies your position there?
I really enjoy it, yeah. It means a lot to me and my family. I think you can tell that.
Glenn, you've been heavily involved with Scotland at youth level. When you see what the Scotland side did during the international break, is that something you aspire to be a part of in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of good players in the younger age groups, and obviously we are the next step once players move on from the current squad, and I think we've got a good future ahead.
Does that fill you with promise when you see the quality of players that you're playing with at the youth level?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially at under 17s last year and under 19s this year, we've shown that we've got a good squad. We've beat top teams and had really good performances.
When you see players like David Bates, who was of course here last season, he's obviously broken into the top tier. Does that show you that there is that pathway for you guys to make it?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you show that you're capable of performing at those levels that are required, then yeah, there's the pathway for you.